Today we're going to make a meatless pasta bake, and this is a good dish if you need to take a pasta dish to a large gathering, or maybe you have a swimmer or a track star and you're having pasta dinners before the events. This is a good one that goes. It feeds a lot of kids, and it's easy to make and fairly low cost as well. So I've already boiled a box of pasta. I like to use the Barilla pasta because it has extra protein in it, and since I'm not putting meat in it, it gives some extra protein for the kids. But you could use any of your favorite pastas. I'm using Elbows tonight. You could also use penne or any of the others that you like to do. So once you have boiled your pasta, then you want to drain it and keep about a half a cup of liquid still in the pasta. So I'm not sure if I kept exactly a half a cup, but it's an approximation there. Then you want to add 2 jars of marinara sauce, and I like to use the Newman's On. Again, this is my choice. You can use whatever your favorite marinara sauce is. If I can open it, then we will be able to put it in there. And I'm just going to add both jars to the pasta in the pot. I've already preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and I have a pan that I'm going to put it in that's a disposable one, just so that it could be thrown out after the party, so it doesn't have to be brought back home or kept up with. In case you're making this somewhere where you don't have this brand or using a different brand, these jars are 23.5 ounces each. To give you an idea of how much. And the pasta box dry was 14.5 ounces. To the sauce, I'm going to add, I have oregano. And it's ground oregano, it's not fresh. I'm going to add about a half of a teaspoon. And then I'm going to add basil. If you have fresh, that would be great. I don't have fresh, but I do have a pretty aromatic jar of it. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon. It'll be your preference of how much. I'm probably putting about a tablespoon in tonight. Then I'm also going to add some grated Parmesan cheese, and I'm going to put in about a half a cup. So you're just going to mix it up well. So you can see it's just mixed together. That's all I did was just stir it all together. Once it's mixed well, we're going to put it into the pan. Now, if you wanted to add meat to it, this would be a good time to add your ground beef or ground chicken or ground turkey. If you had some sausage, maybe you could put that in. We like it with just the marinara sauce, though. So I'm using just a foil baking sheet so that it can be disposed of afterwards. So now that that is in the pan, I'm just going to spread it out evenly. And it is fairly soupy. You want it to be more moist at this point so that it doesn't dry out and end up with hard noodles. So because I'm using a foil pan and it's a heavy dish, I'm going to put it onto a cookie sheet just to make it easier to put it in and out of the oven. And then I'm going to bake it in a 350 degree oven for 20 minutes, but I'm going to stop and stir it after 10 minutes. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, it's been 10 minutes, so I'm going to pull out my pan and mix it up a little bit so that I don't get hard shells on the top. And that's just to keep the moisture in there and surrounding so that it's not getting too hard anywhere. Then I'm going to put it back in for 10 more minutes, and then I'll pull it out and I'll add cheese to it and put that in for another 10 minutes, and then we'll see when the cheese is melted and it looks good, then it'll be ready. Now my pasta has been in there for 20 minutes, so I'm going to pull that out, stir it up again, and add some cheese to it. I don't know if you can tell in looking at it from that angle, but it's starting to get a little bit dry on the top. Not hard, but just dry. So I just want to mix in those juices from the bottom so that it's nice and moist again. Now for the next step, you have a few choices. My crowd tonight likes cheese, so they've asked me to add extra Parmesan, so I'm going to sprinkle some on top. But then I'm going to top it with mozzarella shredded cheese. You could take the block and shred it or buy the bag already made like I did tonight. You're going to need about 2 cups to cover the top of it. And then we're going to put it back into the oven at 350 still for 10 more minutes, and we're going to watch the cheese. So our timer just went off, and our cheese has been in there for about 10 minutes. So let's see if it's ready yet. Oh, it looks perfect. So we have nice melted mozzarella cheese on top of the pasta, and it looks yummy. It smells great too. So it's ready to go. If you were going to make this ahead of time and want to freeze it to have for a future meal, then I would not put the cheese on. I would stop just before that stage, wrap it good in foil, and then put it in the freezer. And you can keep that up to a few months. All right, bon appetit.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba.